What if I told you that a single coin, possibly sitting in an old jar in your garage or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, could be worth up to $932,000? That's not a fantasy. That's the real market value of a rare 1932 no-mint mark Washington quarter. And here's the truth. While most people are blindly spending or tossing away these coins, a select few are cashing in and completely changing their lives. So ask yourself this. Are you holding on to wealth without even knowing it? Stay with me because over the next 10 minutes, you're going to discover everything you need to know about the 1932 no-mint mark quarter, why it's so valuable, how to spot one, and what steps to take if you own one. But here's the catch. Most people will never know the full story. Will you be one of them? Let's rewind to 1932. America was deep in the Great Depression. Jobs were scarce. Banks were failing. And yet, amidst this hardship, a new coin was born. The Washington quarter made its debut to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. But not all quarters were created equal. While most of these quarters were minted in Denver or San Francisco, a small number were produced in Philadelphia. These rare coins carried no mint mark, and their numbers were shockingly limited. Here's where it gets exciting. The 1932 no-mint mark quarter isn't just old, it's rare. It's one of the key dates in the Washington quarter series, and it's incredibly valuable in pristine condition. But wait, that coin you tossed into your coffee jar years ago, what if it's one of them? You might think, oh, it's just a quarter, 25 cents. But let this sink in. One of these quarters recently sold at auction for over $900,000. That's right. A single coin, less than an ounce of metal, worth more than some luxury homes. Crazy, right? And what's even crazier is that thousands of these coins are still out there, forgotten, undiscovered, hiding in plain sight. Now let's break it down. What makes the 1932 no-mint mark quarter so incredibly valuable? First, rarity. Only around 5.4 million were struck in Philadelphia. Compared to the billions of coins produced today, that number is tiny. Second, condition. A coin in average circulated condition may be worth a few $100s. But in uncirculated or mint state, that's where the real treasure lies. Coins graded MS66 or higher are the holy grail. Collectors are constantly chasing them. And prices? They can reach the high six figures. But how do you know if your coin is one of them? Look for sharp details on Washington's hair, a clear date with no wear, and a crisp eagle on the reverse side. No mint mark under the eagle? You might just be holding the real deal. And here's another tip. If your coin has full luster and no scratches, don't clean it. Ever. That could destroy thousands in value instantly. In a moment, I'll tell you exactly what to do if you think you have one of these coins. But first, let's talk about the mistake most people make. And it's costing them a fortune. Here's the biggest mistake people make. They assume their old coins are worthless and hand them over to cash counters or pawn shops for pennies on the dollar. But smart collectors, they educate themselves. They authenticate. They get their coins graded by professionals like PCGS or NGC. And then they list them at auction houses or premium coin platforms. That's where the real money happens. One woman in Pennsylvania found a 1932 no-mint quarter in her late grandfather's belongings. It was graded MS67. She walked away with over $800,000. No gimmicks.
No scams.
Just knowledge and timing. Now you're probably wondering, what if I have one? What if my quarter is worth something? Take action. Don't wait. Get your coin examined. Talk to a trusted coin appraiser. And learn how to navigate the market with confidence. Time is money. And every day that passes is another day someone else is cashing in while you hold on to a fortune without knowing it. You could be sitting on a piece of American history. And more importantly, a path to financial freedom. So here's what you need to do next. Like this video if you've learned something valuable. Share it with someone who might have old coins lying around. And hit that subscribe button. Because we're revealing more hidden treasures, more millionaire-making coins, and more strategies to turn everyday change into serious wealth. Your journey to a wealthier life could start with one coin, one decision, and one moment of action. The question is, will you take it? The 1932 no-mint mark quarter changed lives in the past, and it can still do it today. The next story could be yours. So dig through that drawer. Check that jar. Flip those coins. Because you never know when you'll uncover your hidden fortune. And when you do, remember where you heard it first. We'll see you in the next video. What if I told you that a small piece of silver hiding in your drawer right now could be worth over $900,000? Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter. Not a gold bar. Not a rare diamond. Just a 1932 Washington quarter with no mint mark. This coin, barely larger than a bottle cap, has quietly skyrocketed in value, shocking even seasoned collectors. One was recently valued at an astonishing $934,000. Still think it's just pocket change? What if you've already held one and spent it on coffee? Today, we're diving into the stunning story behind the 1932 no mint mark quarter. You'll discover how a coin nearly everyone overlooked became one of the most valuable pieces in American coin history. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to tell if you're holding a fortune. But be warned, these coins don't stay hidden for long. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1932. The Great Depression grips America. Families struggle. Jobs vanish. And in the middle of it all, the U.S. Mint releases a new quarter to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. It was supposed to be a one-year commemorative design. But something unexpected happened. The public loved it. The coin became the new standard, replacing the standing Liberty design forever. In that first year, 1932, quarters were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Denver and San Francisco versions carried small mint marks, a tiny D or S stamped near the bottom of the coin. But the Philadelphia version, it had no mint mark at all. To most people, that might seem unimportant. But in the world of coin collecting, that missing mint mark makes all the difference. Why? Because fewer 1932 quarters were struck in Philadelphia compared to the other mints. And among those, only a microscopic handful survived in top-tier condition. Perfect luster. Sharp detail. No scratches. These are the unicorns collectors chase. And when one surfaces, it shakes the market. Here's a fun twist point. One of these rare 1932 no mint mark quarters was found not in a vault or a museum, but in a cigar box in someone's attic, hidden under a stack of postcards. That coin later fetched nearly $1 million at auction. Imagine that, a tiny silver disc, forgotten for decades, turning its owner into a near millionaire overnight. Makes you want to check every drawer in your house, doesn't it? So what makes this coin worth up to $934,000? It's the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical significance. Only a handful remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, and collectors, they're desperate to get their hands on one. Because for them, it's not just a coin. It's a time capsule, a trophy, a legacy. But here's the truth most people don't realize. You don't need to be a seasoned collector to find one. Every year, regular Americans stumble upon these rare coins by accident, in old change jars, in inherited boxes, even mixed in with spare change. And when they do, their lives change forever. So how do you know if your quarter is the one? Flip it over. Look just below the eagle's tail feathers on the reverse. If there's no D, no S, just blank space, and the date reads 1932, you might be holding a piece of American treasure. But don't clean it, don't polish it, and definitely don't sell it for less than it's worth. Get it appraised, get it graded. Because if it's in top condition, it could fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe more. And here's something even more surprising. There's another coin from the same year, even rarer, with a twist so bizarre it made headlines. But that's a story for another video. The lesson is simple. Sometimes, life-changing wealth isn't earned. It's discovered. And that discovery might already be sitting in your home. Don't wait. Check your quarters. Unlock the stories they tell. And maybe, just maybe, join the growing list of people who turn pocket change into a life of financial freedom. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that subscribe button. Because the next $1 million coin might be one you already own. And we're here to help you find it. What if I told you that the next time you check your old coin jar, you might be staring at a tiny fortune worth over $900,000? Yes, a single 1935 quarter with no mint mark could be your ticket to early retirement, a dream house, or the kind of freedom most people only fantasize about. It sounds unbelievable. But it's real. Right now, in the United States, collectors are racing to find this elusive treasure, and the clock is ticking. While you're watching this, another rare coin could be slipping through the cracks, getting spent at a gas station or lost in a dusty drawer forever. Still think old coins are just pocket change? Let me show you why this 1935 quarter has the power to turn your life upside down, in the best way possible. The discovery, what makes this coin so valuable? Let's go back in time. The year was 1935. America was climbing out of the Great Depression. Money was scarce, hope was fragile, and every cent counted. That's when the Washington quarter was still relatively new, introduced only a few years earlier in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. But here's where things get interesting. Most coins from 1935 were minted in Philadelphia. That's why they have no mint mark. Now, that might sound common, but it's not. Most of these quarters were heavily circulated. They were spent, worn down, scratched, lost. Finding one today in pristine condition? Practically a miracle. And that's exactly why some versions of the 1935 no-mint mark quarter have fetched jaw-dropping prices, up to $935,000 at private auctions. Why? Because collectors are obsessed with flawless condition, original luster, and historical significance. Combine all three, and you've got the perfect storm for $1 million payday. Here's a quick attention reset. Ever check the date on your quarter before tossing it in the tip jar? You might want to start now. The revelation, your opportunity before it's too late. So how do you know if you're holding the right one? First, look for a 1935 date with no mint mark, meaning it was minted in Philadelphia. Second, inspect the coin's condition. Does it have strong details in George Washington's hair, sharp edges, and clean surfaces without scratches? If yes, you might be looking at a gem-quality coin, the kind auction houses dream of. Even lightly circulated coins from this year can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars, but top-tier examples, we're talking mint state and above, have changed lives. Point one collector found theirs in a relative's coin album. Another dug it out of a forgotten coin jar passed down from a grandparent, and yet another bought a mixed bag of old coins at a flea market for under $20, only to discover one of the rarest quarters hiding in plain sight. That's the surprise, the excitement, the thrill of the hunt. And here's the urgency. Fewer and fewer of these coins remain. Collectors are snapping them up. Auction houses are watching, and prices are soaring. So ask yourself this. How many old quarters have you ignored over the years? How much money might be sitting silently in a shoebox, a drawer, or even in your hand right now? Don't miss your moment. Don't let someone else cash in on what could be yours. Closing with a powerful call to action. Now is your chance to take action. Dig through your old coin jars. Ask your parents. Search those forgotten boxes in the attic. You could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. And if you want to learn how to identify valuable coins, where to sell them for top dollar, and how to turn your old change into wealth, this is just the beginning. Subscribe to this channel right now, because in our next video, we're diving into a coin that's even rarer than the 1935 quarter. And you won't believe where people are finding it. What if the quarter in your drawer is worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. One simple coin. One ordinary-looking quarter. The 1936 no-mint mark Washington quarter has recently shaken the collector's world, selling for up to $936,000. Imagine turning pocket change into generational wealth. Now, take a breath and think about this. How many coins have you ignored? Tossed into jars? Forgotten in glove boxes? What if one of them could change your life? This video could be the turning point. And if you click away now, you might miss the one clue that separates your average quarter from a rare treasure. Stay with me. Let's uncover the story, the secrets, and the staggering value of the 1936 no-mint mark quarter. This is your moment. Let's rewind to 1936. The world was still reeling from the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt was president. Jobs were scarce. Hope was even scarcer. Yet, in the middle of economic turmoil, the United States Mint released one of its most iconic coins, the Washington quarter. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most quarters minted in 1936 came from Philadelphia and didn't carry a mint mark. So on the surface, a no-mint mark quarter might seem common. Too common to care about. But numismatics, the art and science of coin collecting, always holds surprises. It's not just what the coin is. It's about how it survived. Among the 1936 no-mint mark quarters, only a few remain in pristine, uncirculated condition. We're talking about sharp strikes, full details, untouched by time or fingers. These are the coins collectors dream of. These are the ones commanding astronomical prices, like the one recently valued at $936,000. Surprised? You should be, because rarity isn't just about age. It's about condition, preservation, and demand. And when all three align, boom. A coin becomes a treasure. So, why does this quarter stand out? First, let's talk condition. The most valuable 1936 quarter was graded MS 67 by PCGS, a top-tier grading authority. That means near-perfect, crisp lines, no wear, brilliant luster. It's the kind of coin that's been protected, likely passed through generations untouched. Second, historical significance. It's a coin that represents resilience. Minted in a time of national hardship, this small piece of silver became a silent witness to history. And third, demand. Collectors are hunting, auctions are fierce, and serious buyers are willing to spend six figures to own this rare gem. Here's a shocker for you. In 2023, a collector paid nearly $1 million at auction. Not for gold, not for diamonds, but for this quarter. That's not a typo. That's not a fantasy. That's the real market today. Now ask yourself, could you be holding one right now? Let's get specific. Here's what you should look for. Check the date. It must say 1936. Check for no mint mark under the eagle on the reverse side. That confirms it was minted in Philadelphia. Look for sharp details. Focus on Washington's hair, the edges, and the eagle's feathers. A worn coin won't fetch a high price, but a well-preserved one? That's where the magic is. Use a magnifier. Compare it with online images of graded coins. If you're unsure, don't guess. Get it appraised. And here's a pro tip. Always store your coins in a climate-controlled, non-abrasive holder. One fingerprint, one scratch could cost you thousands. But time is your enemy here. Prices fluctuate. Rare coins get bought up. And every day, someone else is discovering a coin they almost threw away. Are you going to be the person who finds gold in their drawer? Or the one who realizes too late that they gave away a fortune in change? This is your window. Don't let it close without taking a look. What if the next coin you inspect changes your life? You don't need luck. You need awareness. You need knowledge. And now you have both. Take action. Check your collection. Ask your relatives. Look through that old coin jar. Your $1 million moment might be sitting right in front of you. And if you want to stay one step ahead, if you want to keep discovering coins that could fund your dream lifestyle, make sure to subscribe right now, because next week, we're revealing another coin that's even rarer than the 1936 quarter, and it's one that almost everyone overlooks. What if the secret to your future wealth is already sitting in your pocket, hiding in plain sight? What if a single coin, a quarter from 1937 with no mint mark, could be the missing piece between your current life and the life you've always dreamed of? Now, imagine holding a tiny piece of silver, no bigger than a bottle cap, and discovering it's worth more than most people's homes. Yes, one of these coins just sold for $937,000. If you think that sounds impossible, keep watching, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly why this humble quarter could change everything. The clock is ticking. Collectors and investors are racing to find these coins, and by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot one, why it's so valuable, and how you can cash in before it's too late. Let's dive into one of the most surprising treasures of American coin history. The 1937 quarter is part of the iconic Washington Quarter series, first minted in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. BY 1937, America was climbing out of the Great Depression, and coins were made to last. That year, quarters were composed of 90% silver, real precious metal in your hand. Here's the twist. Most people assume mint marks always increase a coin's value. But in this case, the absence of a mint mark, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, is exactly what makes it extraordinary. The 1937 no mint mark quarter was struck in Philadelphia, and while many were produced, only a few survived in pristine, untouched condition. And it's those near-perfect survivors with razor-sharp details, brilliant luster, and zero circulation damage that are turning everyday Americans into six-figure success stories. Still think it's just a 25-cent coin? One example graded MS68 by PCGS sold for a jaw-dropping $937,000. Let that sink in. Nearly $1 million for something you might find tucked inside an old piggy bank. But here's where it gets even more exciting. These valuable quarters aren't locked away in museums. Some are hiding in plain sight, inside dressers, jars, and forgotten collections across the country. And here's the kicker. The average person doesn't even know what to look for, so let's play a quick game. Do you have any quarters dated 1937? Pick one up. Now flip it over. Do you see a tiny letter near the bottom of the eagle? If you don't, congratulations, you might just be holding a coin worth more than your car. Still with me? Good. Because now we're going to reveal the key details that determine whether your 1937 quarter is worth thousands or just 25 cents. There are three main things to check. First, condition. Coins with no scratches, dents, or discoloration are worth far more. If yours looks flawless, it could be rare. Second, luster. A bright, almost mirror-like shine means the coin was barely handled. That's a huge plus. Third, certification. Having your coin graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC gives you credibility and helps you get top dollar. And here's something most people miss. Buyers today aren't just collectors. They're investors. They know silver is gaining value. They know history is hot. And they know rare coins like this are finite. That's what creates urgency. There's only a handful of these gems in the wild, and once they're gone for good. You might be thinking, how do I sell mine if I have one? Well, don't rush to a pawn shop. You need to understand the market. In upcoming videos, we'll break down the best auction houses, online marketplaces, and negotiation strategies to get every last dollar your coin deserves. So if you're serious about turning old change into real change, the kind that transforms your bank account and your lifestyle, now is the time to act. Before you walk away and forget this, remember that one coin could be your opportunity. It could fund your dream retirement, help your kids through college, or buy that lake house you've always wanted. But only if you know what you're looking for. Next week, we're uncovering another coin that could make you even more, but barely anyone knows it exists. Don't miss out. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, and check your change, because that next rare coin might already be yours. What if I told you that a forgotten quarter sitting in your junk drawer could be worth more than a house? Yes, one single 1938 no mint mark quarter has recently fetched up to $938,000 on the collector's market. And here's the kicker. Most people who owned one had no idea what it was worth until it was too late. Imagine holding onto a coin for decades, only to sell it off at face value, 25 cents, and later discovering you gave away a rare treasure that could have completely changed your life. Now you might be wondering, could you have one of these coins too? And if so, how would you even know? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we're diving deep into the history, mystery, and million-dollar potential of the 1938 no mint mark quarter. By the end of this video, you'll not only know what makes this coin so valuable, but you'll also learn exactly what signs to look for to see if yours is the jackpot everyone's hunting for. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single second, because the next coin that makes headlines could be the one in your pocket right now. Let's rewind to 1938. The United States was still recovering from the Great Depression. Families held onto every coin. Quarters weren't just spare change, they were groceries, gas, even rent for the week. That year, the U.S. Mint released a quarter bearing the iconic image of George Washington. But here's the twist. Some of these coins came without a mint mark. Now typically, quarters from this era were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver and San Francisco carried a small letter D or S to indicate their origin. But Philadelphia? No mint mark at all. And while that might seem insignificant, it's actually the key that unlocks the fortune. The 1938 no mint mark quarter, struck in Philadelphia, is already rare. But the real gold mine lies in its condition, strike quality, and silver content. These quarters were made with 90% silver, and when preserved in pristine condition, known as mint state, their value skyrockets. But here's where it gets really exciting. Some of these coins were struck with an exceptionally sharp die, producing details so crisp they almost look 3D. These rare variants, especially those graded MS-67 or higher by professional services, are the ones that fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Still think your old quarter is just spare change? Let me tell you a quick story to end 2022. A retired schoolteacher from Ohio was sorting through an old box of coins her father left her. She nearly tossed the whole thing aside, thinking it was all pocket change. But one coin caught her eye, a shiny 1938 quarter with no mint mark. Curious, she took it to a local coin shop. What happened next left her stunned. That coin was authenticated as an MS-67 specimen, and within weeks, it was auctioned off for over $900,000. That's right, a nearly $1 million payday, from a single coin that almost ended up in the recycling bin. Now, think about your own attic, your parents' keepsake drawers, that old coin jar you haven't touched in years. What if your story is next? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. People throw away fortunes every single day, simply because they don't know what they're holding. Are you willing to take that risk? The clock is ticking. Every day, rare coins like the 1938 no-mint mark quarter are getting lost, damaged, or sold for pennies. And with fewer in circulation, the ones that remain grow more valuable with every passing year. Collectors and investors are actively searching. Auctions are heating up, and demand is surging. So if you wait too long, your coin's value might vanish with the next market shift. Grab a magnifying glass. Look through your old coin collections. Focus on the year 1938. And most importantly, check for the absence of a mint mark under the eagle on the reverse side. No letter means it was struck in Philadelphia. That's your first green flag. Next, examine the condition. Minimal scratches, high detail, and strong luster? You might be holding something rare. And if you're unsure, get it appraised by a professional grading service. The small fee is nothing compared to the potential reward. And remember, even coins that look ordinary could be hiding incredible value. The only way to know for sure is to check. This isn't just about coins. It's about legacy. It's about turning overlooked objects into opportunities. It's about giving yourself and your family a chance at the life you deserve. All from a simple quarter. So if you're serious about building wealth from old coins, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications, because in the next video we're revealing 5 more coins that people are unknowingly selling for peanuts, while collectors pay a fortune for them. What if I told you that a simple coin in your junk drawer could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. One coin, one chance, one decision that could change your life forever. In 1939, an unassuming silver quarter was minted without a mint mark. It looks just like any other pocket change you might toss aside, but today, one rare version of this coin has reached a staggering market value of up to $939,000. So before you spend another quarter on a gumball or a parking meter, you might want to stop and take a very close look, because that next coin could be your golden ticket to wealth. Still think it's just another old coin? Let me prove you wrong. Let's rewind to 1939, a year when the world stood on the edge of war. But in the United States, coins were quietly being struck in the Philadelphia Mint. No mint mark, just the unmistakable image of George Washington on the front and an eagle with outstretched wings on the back. Millions were made, but only a select few were struck with a near-perfect die, flawless in detail and rare in circulation over time. Most of them vanished into coin rolls, vending machines, or dusty attics, but a tiny handful survived in pristine condition. And that's where the magic lies today. Collectors and dealers are hunting for those few 1939 quarters that defied time, and when one surfaces in excellent condition, with full strike and no wear, it can spark a bidding war that skyrockets the value to almost $1 million. Why? Because rarity is only part of the story. Condition, historical context, and collector demand all create a perfect storm, and when those factors align, the results can be jaw-dropping. Now you're probably wondering what makes this coin so special compared to others from the same era. Here's where things get exciting. Most 1939 quarters were struck with ordinary dies that wore down quickly, but a few were created with what experts call full head details. This means the features of Washington's profile are so crisp, you can see each strand of hair. No blurs, no flattening, just sharp, museum-quality features. Combine that with the original silver content, and you have a tangible piece of American history that people will pay 6 figures for. Still think it's impossible? Well, in 2024, one verified 1939 no-mint mark quarter sold for $939,000 in a private auction. The coin was graded by a professional service as MS-68. That's mint state 68, near perfect. Now pause for a second. Imagine opening a box of old coins from your grandparents' attic, and there It is a dusty, forgotten piece that could transform your future. Sounds like a movie, but it's happening more often than you think. Here's the real question: do you have one of these valuable coins without even knowing it? If you have a 1939 quarter with no mint mark, check for these signs. It should have extremely minimal wear, sharp edges, clear details in the hair, lettering, and eagle feathers, and ideally, it should be graded by a professional. If it ticks those boxes, you could be holding a small fortune. But here's the urgency: as more people become aware of this coin's value, the chances of finding one are shrinking fast. Coins are being bought up, locked away, or snatched by collectors. Prices are surging, and the window of opportunity is closing. Will you be the one who acts, or the one who looks back and says, "I had one of those once"? The time to search is now. Look in your coin jars, dig through your drawers, ask your family, because the 1939 no mint mark quarter is more than just a piece of metal. It's a passport to a better life. Subscribe now if you want more hidden treasure stories and discover how old coins could unlock the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.